Hi everyone, it's Emily and I'm back again with another 21 and Sensory podcast. And on this episode, I've got a really special guest. So you've heard from my sister on one episode, but on today's episode, I have my brother. So do you want to say hello?
Hello.
So this is my baby brother. I'm not going to say his name just to keep, obviously him safe and private online, a bit like I did with my sister. But my brother is 19 years old and he is adopted. So we, as a family, adopted my brother when he was 2 years old. And yeah, he's now 19 and he goes to a autism day centre during the week. So you're currently doing 2 days a week, but hopefully we're going to get up to 5 days a week at a National Autistic Society centre. So you go to a day centre, don't you? Yep, and that's really good. So I thought I'd have my brother on and we could have a little chat about his diagnosis. And we've also written out some questions, which he's got some answers to. So yeah, do you want to tell people what your diagnoses are? So you have...
I have autism and FASD.
Mm-hmm. So my brother is autistic and he has FASD. And if you don't know what that is, it stands for Foetal Alcohol Spectrum Disorder. That's right, isn't it? Yeah. So that's actually a diagnosis that he got more recently. But we've kind of known for quite a while that you had FASD or some kind of traits of it, didn't we? So I also actually went on a podcast to talk about your FASD, didn't I? So I'll link that down below as well. But right, let's get straight into your questions, shall we? Yeah? So the first question I wrote out was, what are your special interests and hobbies? So do you want to tell everyone what your special interests and hobbies are?
One of my special interests are I love tech and old things.
Mm-hmm. And you're also really into retro stuff as well, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you talk a lot to us as a family about technology all the time. You're really into Apple products, aren't you? And you talk to us lots about the updates that are coming out, and you're always talking about beta, aren't you? Beta really interests you. So that's the developer program for Apple users that they can test out features on and give feedback. So you're really interested in that, aren't you? Would you say one of your special interests is football? Yeah. So he plays football. You play as part of a pan disability team at the weekends, don't you? So sometimes you do football tournaments and stuff. And who do you support football-wise?
Oh, I support Man City.
You do. I think that's kind of because of our dad a bit. We don't really have a choice, do we?
Right.
We have to support Man City. So yeah, you're kind of tech and football, I would say, are your big things. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. So that was a good answer. Okay. What do we put after that? So, yeah, I think people would find it interesting to know what your FASD assessment was like. So do you want to run them through? Because there was something really cool in it, wasn't there?
My diagnosis was really good because I had a 3D facial scan on my face, which allows you to notice facial features that you might not be able to see to the naked eye.
Mm-hmm. So that was really cool, wasn't it? Because they gave you a scan, a 3D scan of your face, which was really weird, and you could see it on the screen. But like you said, it kind of picks up all these different traits. So things like some people with FASD have quite thin lips, don't they? That's a kind of trait. So they were able to pick up on that and some other facial features. And your assessment was 2 days. Was it 2 days? You went back for another day, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and you went with our mum. So it was quite full on, wasn't it? It was a lot of hours. Yeah, it was a lot of hours. And I think you did really well. Like they did loads of like cognitive like stuff, didn't they? Like brain stuff, like lots of different tasks and activities. I remember you saying when you came home. And then it took a really long time for the report to come through, didn't it? But we knew that you had FASD. I'm just going to wait because our dog is coughing. Okay, he stopped now. So, yeah, I think it just kind of confirmed it for us, didn't it? And it helps you get access to more help and support, didn't it? So what's your next question? Go if you turn the page over. What are the things you're really good at? I can see what you've written.
The things that I'm really good at is being silly.
Yes, I would say that's number one. You're very good at being silly, but I think you're also really good at being very kind. You're very selfless. So you always help out around the house. You're always like unloading the dishwasher, doing the recycling, helping. Like you're really good at mowing the lawn, aren't you? Really good at that. You're really good with like manual tasks like painting and doing like hands-on things. I think is like one of your main strengths, isn't it? Like helping out with DIY, like with our dad. I think you're really good at that. And like helping our uncle out as well, like with DIY stuff, like at his workplace, you've done that. So I think those are some of the things that you're really good at. What else did we ask you? Oh yeah, if there was something you could change, what would it be?
If I could change anything about me, it would be loud noises.
Because they really affect you, don't they?
Yeah.
So we went out today, we went to the co-op, didn't we? And when we were walking down the road, there were some really noisy like motorbikes and cars and stuff. And you struggle with that. You put your hands over your ears immediately, don't you? And I think loud noises is one of your big, like, not like triggers, but like one of the things that you struggle with the most, isn't it? In terms of like sensory stuff. And you go out with you have a buddy, don't you? Who you go out with at the weekend, which is really cool. And you go out for a few hours and you always say that you struggle with the noise when you're like out and about and in crowds, or like say if you want to go shopping, you struggle with the noise, don't you? Do you think there's any other like sensory stuff you struggle with or that you don't like?
No.
You don't think so? I'm trying to think. You're quite a like sensory seeker, aren't you? Like you seek out like sensation, like you're really into like swings, aren't you? And stuff like that. You used to always be out on the swing in the garden, and you're really into your music, and you like loud music though, don't you? Yeah, like in your headphones you put your music up so loud. I'm like, that's probably going to damage your hearing, but I think you're good with like, if it's noise you can control, you don't mind it, do you?
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Do we have any more questions? Or was that all? Did you start on the first page? I think that was all of them, wasn't it? So what else are we going to talk about? I guess, like you wanted to come on the podcast because I think obviously our sister came on it, and I thought it'd be nice for you to come on it as well. And I think like we're both autistic, obviously, but our autism is very different. And I think that's like, it's a really good thing because we both have different like strengths and weaknesses. We definitely both have different like sensory profiles and stuff. I think like maybe like it will come across in this podcast that I've probably spoken more than you have. And I think that is another thing about, you know, the struggles that you have is that my brother is a bit more non-verbal than I am, aren't you? Yeah, and you struggle, I think, like you struggle with like social stuff, which I do as well, but we struggle in like slightly different ways. And I think that's something that we want to come across, is that every person is different, obviously, but every person with autism is very different and struggles with stuff like very differently. But yeah, was there anything else you wanted to say? Like, I think you're enjoying going to like your day centre, aren't you? Because you went, my brother went to mainstream primary school, and then he went to a special secondary school, and now he's at a National Autistic Society day centre, which is really cool. And it's like, there's quite a few of you, isn't there? And you go like from 9:30 till like 3, 2:30. So it's like a kind of almost school day format, isn't it? Yeah. And what would you say is the best thing about going to the centre?
I would say the best thing is
everything about just the whole thing. I think it'll be good, like when COVID, like when maybe the UK opens up a little bit more, because then, like they used to, like before you joined, they'd go out and do like they'd go and get stuff for cooking and things like that, and like they do lots of like life skills, don't they? And like stuff on relationships and social skills and stuff. But obviously you haven't really experienced it that much because of COVID, so maybe you'll be able to do more cooking because you like cooking. Yeah. Someone, like one of the like ladies in the office who you don't really see that much, you told me that you heard a bark once, didn't you? And that they have a sausage dog, and I really want to meet this sausage dog. So I'm hoping when things, maybe kind of settle down in terms of COVID, I'll be able to come in and see a sausage dog because I really want a sausage dog. I'm so excited. I want to meet it. So what would you say that you want people to know about FASD?
I'd like them to know that I know that everyone who has it might not have a diagnosis and might struggle to understand or might not know whether they have it or not. So I just want them to know that it makes them different in different ways. And I understand that. And that's what makes you special if you have it.
Yeah, definitely. And I think even, there's lots of different struggles with FASD, and it really does overlap with autism. But even like in terms of mental health as well, like you struggled with your mental health and so have I, and it's just all these like comorbid things that can overlap and can affect how you live and stuff. But you have come such a long way, and you are almost 20, which is insane, and you've grown up so quick, and you're still my baby brother even though you're 19. But I'm so excited to see how, the adult world, I think you're going to learn some really good skills at this day centre, and maybe one day you'll live in a residential place, and I think that'll be super exciting for you in terms of being independent and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it's really good what you said about FASD. It's a bit like autism. Everyone is very different with FASD. But yeah, is there anything else that you wanted to say?
I wanted to say that when I was first told that I had it, I found it quite upsetting.
Yeah.
But then I learned to understand it a bit more. And the more I understood it, the less upset I was.
Yeah, exactly. And I totally get that it's upsetting to know, because really what the diagnosis tells you is that your birth mum drunk when she was pregnant, and that is upsetting. But you have done so well to accept the diagnosis and grow from it. And I think even just me and you both having autism is really cool, because we both get the same things, or we get if somewhere's loud, and I know I don't have the same FASD diagnosis, but I think in terms of sensory stuff, we both understand each other, and I can appreciate when you get a bit worried when you're out and about and stuff like that. But I think that's a very big thing for you to say, it was upsetting, because it's a big thing to be told. But everyone said to you at your diagnosis how kind and thoughtful and lovely you were, and what a privilege it was to meet you and to speak to you for those 2 days. Everyone came back with such nice feedback. All your assessors were oh, he's so lovely. He's, he's so like interested in like tech and stuff like that, and they could really see what your strengths were. So I think there were, really good points to take from it as well. Do you think that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've read like a massive book about all the different stuff around FASD and all the symptoms and struggles and stories from other people and all the different facial features and that. And I think that anyone who has it, I know they're different, but I just want them to know that it makes them unique and not that different from everyone else in the world.
That's a really good way of putting it. I think everyone, no matter whether or not they have a diagnosis of something, is struggling with stuff in life. But just like you said, having a diagnosis of FASD, it confirms things for you, but it also, you are unique and you do have struggles and you have good days, don't you? You have really good days, but you also have bad days. Sometimes your mental health gets on top of you, and that's okay. And sometimes you are frustrated that you have FASD and that you are autistic. And, so am I. Some days I'm like, oh, why do I have to struggle? But you're exactly right. It makes you unique and it makes you you. And I wouldn't want to change you. And I don't think our family would ever want to change you. And I don't think they'd want to change me either. It makes us who we are, doesn't it? Yeah. Do you think there's anything else we should say?
No.
I don't think so. Okay, thank you. Well, it was really nice that you wanted to sit down and have a chat. And I know it can be a bit difficult to like sit in front of a microphone and record something. So it's nice that we could do this.
I think doing it here like this is a lot better than doing it in front of 1,000 people because I wouldn't like that.
I would not like that either. I don't think I'd ever be able to do a podcast in front of 1,000 people. It'd be scary. Yeah. Okay, do you want to say bye to everyone?
Bye.